Hi guys, my name is Victoria Bartovich and I'm the director at Yoni Elixir. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about pain during sex. So there's a few myths that I want to cover around this pain that a lot of women experience during sex. I read a statistic recently that 75% of women are experiencing pain during sex. And that made me very sad because it can be very easy to believe that it's just normal to experience pain during sex when there is that many women that may be around you in your social circles or on the internet talking about pain during sex. But just because something is common does not mean that it is normal. And I really want to just dispel that myth today and talk to you about some things that you can do to actually experience less pain during sex and really activate that pleasure that you're really probably desiring. So one of these experiences around and the myths that we see around pain during sex is that there is a lack of lubrication. And obviously I have Yoni Elixir, and that is a great thing that you can actually use to actually open and connect with your Yoni. But I would not ever use Yoni Elixir to replace the engorgement of the Yoni. And this is one of the main things that I see, especially, and as well, like I know a lot of men that come to see me as a sexologist will also chat to me about this. And this is the experience of when they are entering into a woman, there is actually a pain that they experience on the frenulum. And this is actually due to a dryness, but it's not this necessarily a dryness that a woman is not ready. It actually is more of the dryness that actually happens on the entrance. And this is a great time to actually use Yoni Elixir. If you are experiencing that you are engorging with it and there is fluid inside of the vaginal canal, but not coming on the outside. So a woman's arousal often happens on the inside, and she can be very engorged on the inside, but the outside can take a little bit longer. So this engorgement on the outside can be lubricated through lubrication such as Yoni Elixir. And why I actually recommend Yoni Elixir over other lubricants would be because when you're working with Yoni Elixir, you're actually utilizing the herbs that I have infused into the Yoni Elixir to increase that engorgement. So what you're doing with like ashwagandha, it raises your libido. So you're having that experience of the libido is being raised, and it's going straight into the bloodstream. And the same with like chamomile, there's in there, which is also about reducing cortisol, reducing stress, bringing the body into calmness. And the more the body can be in calmness, the more the yoni can open. And that's what we're looking for, is this capacity for the yoni to actually start to blossom and open. And this is something that can be cultivated through actually building the muscle inside of the yoni. So what you've got is like the clitoris. You've got the little pea-sized clitoris that is at the top of the yoni, and then these parts down the side of the yoni. You have where you have the entrance is down here, and then you've got where you pee from is here. You have what we call the clitoris bulbs. And another great thing that you can actually do is actually stimulate the clitoris bulbs with Yoni Elixir on times when you're not having sex. And this actually, it starts to build up this muscle and like muscle memory, so that when the sexuality is happening, the blood will just naturally flow into this area. So a big reason why a lot of women experience like a lack of engorgement of the yoni and a pain during sex is because what they're finding is that the blood flow is not going to this area. And blood flow might not go to this area because there might be parts that are numb. You can actually check out my video on de-armoring if you are experiencing any numbness. And actually what starts to happen when you start to activate and connect into this erectile tissue is you bring blood flow back into this area. You release the stored stuckness that actually hangs out around this area. Okay, so the final thing that you can do if you are experiencing this and you want to start to activate the body to experience more blood flow in this area is you can start to bring circular motion in. So as a practice, you might put some Yoni Elixir on your hand, and you might rub it on your womb or on your yoni, and then you might just start to make some circles. So one way of making circles is just putting your hands on your knees and just bringing those circles through the hips. So you can see they're coming through my hips right now. And then you can also bring those circles through the chest, and that looks a little bit more like this. So you can see I'm pushing my chest out, and then I'm bringing the shoulders forwards. And what this does is actually just brings the body into flow, into movement. So there's the spine that sits along your back. This actually starts to regulate your nervous system. So if you regulate the nervous system, your body starts to come into more of a rest and digest state. And when your body's in a rest and digest state, then the yoni is able to actually receive more, it's able to relax more. And that relaxation is what allows the yoni to feel ready for penetration, or even whether that's a finger or penis or anything else, sex toy that you decide to use. But what we're looking to do is actually just bring the energy back into the body and out of the mind. So by creating circles through the hips and through the shoulders and through the chest, actually allows for you to actually come into a recognition that it's time to relax. It's time for your body to feel more. And if there's one piece of advice that I just want to give women that are experiencing pain during sex, is like, really allow yourself to go at your pace. If you have a partner that is experiencing a lot of sexual energy, a lot of sexual desire towards you, but you are unable to receive that penetration, there is ways that you can slow down and receive more. So if he is able to actually cultivate the sexual energy inside of his own body, really alone, and actually like seeing if he can get away from masturbation, but actually just like see if that sexual energy can be cultivated. He can still have an erection, but to see if he can breathe that sexual energy up and through his body, and then bring in that sexual energy through his sex, through his heart, and then out through his hands and onto your body. Because the more you're experiencing the fullness of his sexual expression, the fullness of his eros, the more your body is going to be able to receive and actually feel the heart energy that's coming with that. Because if you're experiencing this feeling of like, I need to provide this sexual relief for this person, then you're going to go into an experience of shutdown. Your body's going to go into this feeling of just like, like I need to do this. And there's nothing worse for the yoni than the feeling of needing to do anything. So just recognizing that the more your body is going into rest and digest, the more your system can open and the more access you are going to have to pleasure and not pain. All right, so yeah, hopefully that helps a little bit. Please, again, if you are having experiences of like very sharp pains and very like really strong intensity, I really recommend going to see a doctor for this. But what I really just want to like reiterate is that I know a lot of women that have come to me in my practice that have had a lot of wild, crazy pains for years and years on end, and then they found that just by letting go of that partner or shifting their relationship to self, they have had a completely different experience with their yoni, even when they've been so convinced it's been a medical issue. So I just want to put all of that knowledge out there for you guys to recognize that yes, it can be medical, but some like emotional somatic issues can feel like a medical issue as well. So it's a tricky thing to navigate. Please reach out to me by email if you wanted to have a deeper conversation about these things. info@yonielixir.com. And please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.